Problem number 7. The Acme Company has begun selling an MP3 player called the FooPod at a price of P equals 200 minus 0.05x, where x is the number of FooPods Acme produces each day. The cost for producing FooPods is C equals 140x plus 9500. Approximately how many FooPods should Acme produce and sell each day to maximize profit? Okay, so in this type of problem, the first thing we want to do is figure out if I need to draw a picture, which I definitely, unless I wanted to draw a picture of a FooPod, I guess I'd be okay. Second thing is to figure out what do I want to maximize or minimize, and the thing that I want to maximize or minimize is the profit. So the next thing I need is a profit formula. Well, they told me how to write a profit formula. So profit is going to be P times X. So it's going to be 200 minus 0.05x times x minus the cost. And the cost is 140x plus 9500. Okay, now please notice that I did put that in parentheses because the minus goes to the whole thing. Next thing I need to decide, do I need to do a side trip? Nope, because I only have one variable in my problem. So I'm going to be ready to take the derivative, but I'm going to clean this up before I do so. So I'm going to have 200x minus 0.05x squared minus 140x minus 9500. And we easily could take the derivative at this step, but I am going to go ahead and combine my x's first. I'm just going to try to make it a little easier for myself. So I'm going to have 60x minus 0.05x squared minus 9500. Now I am ready to take the derivative. So I'm going to take the derivative, and when I do so, I'll get 60 minus 0.1x, at which point, once we take the derivative, we set it equal to 0. And then I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to add 0.1x to both sides. I'll then divide by 0.1, and x will equal 600. So let's just make sure I answered all parts of the problem. How many FooPods should Acme produce and sell? They should sell 600 FooPods on a daily basis, and then we would be good to go. Okay, number 8. A farmer has 20,000 feet squared area for a rectangular pen. The barn wall will be used as one side of the pen. What dimension should be used so that the amount of fencing used is a minimum, and how much fencing will be used? So, first thing we want to do, draw a picture. The picture's already there. The second thing I want to decide is what do I want the minimum or the maximum of? I want a minimum fencing, so fencing. So if I want minimum fencing, I need a formula for fencing. So F for fencing is going to be what goes around, and actually when we do the picture, I do like to label it as well. Okay, so fencing is going to be the materials that we use to fence it in, which will be 1x and 2y. All right, then I ask myself the question, do I need to take a side trip? Yes, I do, because I have more than one variable. So now I just need to look at the information to help me out. I'm given 20,000 feet squared, which is an area. So the area of that rectangular region would be xy, and I know that it equals 20,000. I'm going to solve that for x by dividing both sides by 20,000. So now that's what's going to get plugged in for the x. We'll have f equals 20,000 over y plus 2y. I'm going to rewrite that as 20,000 y to the negative 1 plus 2y. I'm now ready to take the derivative. So I'll bump my negative 1 out front. I'm going to get 20,000 y to the negative 2 plus 2. I'm going to rewrite that into negative 20,000 over y squared plus 2. Once we find the derivative, we want to take the derivative and set it equal to 0. So that's what I'm doing next. I'm going to I'm going to add 20,000 over y squared to both sides. I think that will be easier. So I'm going to get 20,000 y squared is equal to 2, and then from there I'm going to put a 1 underneath my 2 so I can cross multiply. So I'll get 2y squared is equal to 20,000. Divide both sides by 2, I'll get y squared equals 10,000, and if I square root, I'll get y equals 100. So I know I'm going to have to go back and find the x. I'm going to plug it up there. 20,000 divided by 100 will be x equals 200. Okay, have I answered the question? First of all, what dimension should be used so that the amount of fencing used is a minimum? Well, I know my dimensions are going to be 200 feet by 100 feet, so those are my dimensions. And then it also says how much fencing should be used. So fencing should equal x, which was 200 plus 2 times 100, which will be 400. So then we're going to have 400 feet of fencing on that one.